Jay White loses. A loser leaves Japan match. Could a wrestling legend be gearing up to return to action just in time for WWE WrestleMania 39? The Ass Boys, the Gun Club, sign new multi-year deals with AEW, and there's a whole bunch of your Twitter questions have come in already. Thank you very much for that. Of course, this is the Solo Sunday News here of myself, Andrew Pollard, at What Culture Wrestling. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn notification bells on, and most importantly, just have a good day today, whatever you're doing, whether it's something, whether it's nothing. I hope it's the best possible day. And if it's not going too well, I hope things turn around quickly for you. I apologize already. I am a little bit under the weather. I'm very nasally. I'm very bunged up. I'm coughing fits. This is the 6th attempt of recording this video. So let's get to it. Let's get quickly through it. We have Jay White will no longer be competing in Japan. Now, this is all because of yesterday. We had New Japan Pro Wrestling's The New Beginning show, where it was Jay White versus Hikuleo, his fellow, former Bullet Club brother. For what the stipulation was, the loser would leave Japan, and it was Jay White who lost a match that went about 25 minutes-ish. Hikuleo getting the win with a choke slam. So that's it. Switchblade Jay White is no longer going to be able to compete in Japan. Post-match, he had a fist bump at ringside with Tanahashi, one of his longtime rivals. Tana was, of course, on commentary. And then once Jay White got to the back, the Switchblade cut I guess you could say an emotional promo, really, for Jay White standards. I mean, Jay White's an exceptional promo, which is always full of emotion, but it's quite a poignant. He spoke in Japanese, and the translation was that basically he's going to miss the fans. The fans in Japan are family to him. And it was all very nice. I mean, he did throw in some barbs at Eddie Kingston because Switchblade Jay White is due to wrestle Eddie Kingston this coming Saturday, so next weekend. That is for New Japan Strong. That is the Battle of the Valley event, which takes place in San Jose, California on Saturday. So that's the caveat here. So while Jay White can no longer wrestle in Japan, he can still wrestle for New Japan elsewhere, in this case for New Japan Strong, because that's based out of California. So it remains to be seen what the future, what is in the future for Switchblade. Now, 30 years of age, one of the best wrestlers on the planet, a phenomenal promo, a great look. It's Jay White is a talent that any wrestling company on the planet would be keen to have under their banner. There was reports earlier this year as well, that WWE were extremely interested in Jay White. Obviously, AEW would be extremely interested in Jay White. He's already appeared on AEW television, as has Hikuleo. Now, that's another talent WWE got interested in. So that was why there was a good sense of intrigue going into this match, because it was Hikuleo versus Jay White. And WWE, there was loads of reports been out there the last few months, were keen on both of those people. So it's like, right, who is going to lose and leave Japan, and not necessarily New Japan Pro Wrestling? So, yeah, where the Switchblade goes from here remains to be seen. But yeah, that's definitely one to keep your eye on. Who knows? Hey, WrestleMania 39, crazier things have happened. It is just around the corner. And speaking of WrestleMania 39, go segue. Randy Orton might be back in time for WrestleMania 39 if we're putting 2 and 2 together and possibly getting 4, but possibly also getting like 786. Which I guess is divided by 2, but isn't just 2 plus 2. Yeah, look at me, maths. I'm going to go Steiner math in a minute. It's been a long day, man. Been a long day already. Yes, Randy Orton, there was a story picked up on by WrestlingNews.co where they saw from, I think it was a Facebook story, of a bootmaker named Jose G. Sanz, who revealed that he's been contacted by Randy Orton about making some new boots for Randy for as and when the Viper returns to the ring. So some are putting these pieces together and speculating that, hey, Randy's return is imminent. WrestleMania 39 is just around the corner. Could he appear there? Could he maybe return the Raw after Mania? But I guess it just, see what happens, because Randy Orton, I mean, the issues he's been dealing with are extremely severe, extremely major, to the point where, in case you missed it, it's back issues. So Randy was penciled in to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam last year. That obviously did not happen. And instead, back in May, it was Randy was written off TV after an attack by the Bloodline. That was on an episode of SmackDown after him and Riddle. Matt Riddle had lost the Raw tag team titles to the Usos in the unification match. And so, yeah, Randy's been out of action since May of last year with these back problems. Back problems are so bad that there were reports just last month that said that Randy Orton was extremely close to having to retire last year. So It is. Any I guess any stories or speculation about him returning to action soon kind of has to be taken with a little bit of salt or a bit of care, because the dude's coming back from, if he does come back, he's coming back from something extremely serious. And if he does return to the ring, it's probably going to be a slightly different style, a slightly modified style for Randall Keith. But I mean, Randy Orton, there's few names, active names in the wrestling business. I know some people are not his biggest fans, but there's few names in the wrestling business who are quite as big a name as Randy Orton, a 14-time world champion, of course. But that's WWE's metric of let's just throw belts on people. Anyway, so hopefully Randy is healthy. Hopefully, I did see a picture floating around. I think it was last week. It might have been over the weekend, and he was looking incredibly buff. So he's clearly been working out hard, and yeah, all the best for Randy as and when he returns. And speaking of split opinion there with Randy Orton, that, you know, he has his fair share of haters. One thing that split opinion massively this past week was the Ass Boys, was the Gun Club dethroning the Acclaim to become the AEW Tag Team Champions. Now, a report today, over the weekend, from Fightful Select notes that the Guns have now signed new multi-year deals to remain #All Elite. Now, the report doesn't know, there's no specifics known in terms of exactly how long those deals are, just that they're multi-year agreements. So Austin and Colton Gunn are not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Austin has been with the promotion since January of 2020. That was announced. And with Colton, it's kind of hazy because there was no big announcement of when he joined the company. He just kind of appeared and then they started working matches on Dark, and here we are now where they are the reigning defending AEW Tag Team Champions, which it's one of those days on Thursday where Twitter was a fun place to be, and I guess on Wednesday night if you were watching Dynamite live. But yeah, just seeing the discourse from the fallout of Dynamite, where a lot of people aren't happy that the Acclaimed lost the titles. I mean, they had the belts for 140 days, so it was a decent run, but it was a run that only seemed to further increase their status as one of the most popular acts in the company. And the more worrying bit for me was on Rampage, where it looks more like, hold on, we're not really going and putting the Acclaim with like Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett and Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt, as in putting them up against those. I mean, Jay Lethal's phenomenal worker. Jeff Jarrett, again, love him or hate him, is very good at what he does. Slap nuts. But it's just it feels, if that's where they're going with the Acclaim to feud against those guys, I don't know, man. Not for me. Right, questions. I will try and get through these quick because my throat is dying. So sorry. Paul's got in touch. Paul Liza, mate. Hi, Coach Lefebvre. Hey, Paul. Just the one question for the Sunday recording. Am I going to be in a fragile mental state after the Elimination Chamber main event next weekend? Yes, I believe you will. I was going to go full D-Bry there. But I thought there was ways to make it more emotional, but the way they're going, I'm not going to fault this Bloodline story because it's the best thing in professional wrestling right now. It's going to be a massive night for Sammy. It's going to be, I'm sure the match will be great because the two people involved are great. And that Montreal crowd is just going to be absolutely rabid for their homeboy, Sami Zayn. So yes, and obviously I don't think Sammy's winning those belts. That's not a particular spoiler. But yeah, it's going to be an emotional one, I think. So yes, you might be in a fragile state after that pay-per-view. Or premium live event, sorry. Premium live event, my ass. Right, Cole Strandhausen's got a touch. Happy Solo Sunday. Do you think AEW are turning Britt Baker and Hayter face against Storm and Saraya? And if Ruby aligns with Britt and Hayter, who's the third person who should align with Saraya? Hashtag this is news. PS Leia says hi. Leia looks like an absolute babe. Of course, on a Sunday, feel free, if you get in touch, to send me pictures of your pets or just random animals. Always puts a genuine smile on my face. And Leia there looks like an absolute beaut. My cat is also called Leia, but she's been a bit of a menace this morning. Right, who do I think? Do I think that Hayter and Baker are faces? Yes, I think they're already baby faces, especially in the eyes of the AEW audience, because I mean, Britt is as AEW original as can get. Jamie Hayter obviously came there a little bit later. But is the AEW World Champion, has made a massive splash herself in AEW. Of course, she did great work before her stardom. But yeah, those two for the AEW fan base are the girls, as in the stars that they want to see. The good guys, the good girls, and against the nefarious heels who have previously worked in the naughty company down there, WWE. And I think that if you're saying about it, should Ruby align with Britt and Hayter, and who would then align the third person with Saraya and Tully Storm? I think it's kind of the other way around. I think for Ruby Soho, I think she'd be better suited to the heel just because I don't know. It feels like she's very flat at the moment. And obviously she had spells out of injuries, but she came in like white hot, and then within a few weeks, it just kind of, I don't know, the bloom was off the rose, and AEW's kind of made her feel like just someone else that's there. That's it. And I think for Ruby, it'd be a good thing to turn heel. It'd be a nice kickstart for her as a character, and they give her different people to work with. I think, I mean, if you're looking elsewhere about who could possibly align with the XWE crews, you've got, I guess, Athena, who seems busy with the ROH Women's Championship. You've got Tay Mello, Tay Conti, who is, again, detached from that and with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Marina Shafir, maybe. Mercedes Martinez, who isn't really associated as a WWE person because she worked for years in other companies around there. Serena Deeb, I guess, but yeah, so I think Ruby's the one that turns and goes heel. If that was a really long answer, I'm apologizing already. I could feel my nose and anyway, CJ Lawless got in touch. Morning from the US. Morning, CJ. Is AEW building to a women's blood and guts match? Thoughts? Who wins? I personally love the following. Team outsiders of Athena, Soho, Saraya, Deep, Storm. Team originals: Baker, Shida, Hater, Statlander, and Nightingale. Also, here's my pup Pearl. Oh my word, what an absolute babe Pearl looks like. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, look at those teams. I think if you do something like that, I think you have the heels win this time. And I think that the lineups you've got there are very decent, I think. But the one that jumps out for me, unfortunately, is Chris Statlander, because I don't think she's anywhere close to returning to action. I think it's going to be a few months by all accounts, because it was a really serious injury. She suffered the injury again. So I'd take Statlander out of that. And then if you're looking for originals to fill that spot, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is right there. That's one option that I'd be looking at. Matthews Geronimo's got in touch. Hi, Andrew. Have a nice day. Have a nice Sunday. Sorry, my head is in the shed today. Curious to know your thoughts on Okada and Kiyomiya feud. Okada being pissed with him after the kick to the face. I loved it. I'm very much looking forward to just seeing how this develops. Just pissed off, angry, narked, miffed, whatever you want to say. That version of Okada is something we've not really seen much of, especially to the extent that he's been lately. So it's like, this is cool. This is I was going to say words I can't say them because bad language, but this is crap kicking Okada. This is I just want blood Okada. This is cool. I'm very much I'm on board with all of this. Dustin Sentinix got in touch. Hello, Andrew. Realistically, how long should WWE keep the Bloodline story going? If it's too long, it could end up being like the NWO, and not in a good way. Yeah, the NWO got really rough at one point in time. Well, for a long point in time, actually. You literally be watching Nitro, and every other entrance was that theme tune. It's just like, no, oh my. Yeah. Anyway, so how long does this go on for with the Bloodline? I'm not sure. It's one of those where I think, I know again, there's a lot of WWE haters out there, but I think with this one, because of the way they've handled things so far, it's kind of, I'm cool with what they want to do. I'm in WWE. Feels like it's a long time since I've been able to say this, but for this particular storyline in WWE, I trust. In Paul Heyman, I trust. In all the talents involved, I trust. So the people who made this so great so far, I'm happy just to let them crack on and go and whatever. If they feel they can drag it out for another 6 months, okay. If they feel like it needs to end by WrestleMania, okay. So it's just such a fun story that's got so many just different elements at play that are all really interesting, and it's done wonders for everybody involved. You got someone like Solo Sikoa, who was floating around the mid card of NXT. Flirting with the NXT North American title, which he briefly won. All of a sudden now he just feels like an absolute monster. He is obviously the enforcer of the Bloodline. You've got the Usos who've never been as popular. Jey Uso, the reactions he's getting. Jim Uso on Friday. Obviously Roman, Sami Zayn, Paul Heyman, everybody. This is just great. So I fully trust WWE on this one, which is something that I which feels odd to say. At the Aussie the third, hey Hector, happy Solo Sunday. Clearly ex-con Dom has really leaned into his character. Whenever the Judgment Day comes to an end, do you see him contributing along a similar character path? Continuing along a similar character path, or do you think he's putting in the work to be a better wrestler and more relevant? I mean, I think he's obviously putting in the work to become a better wrestler. It all depends when the Judgment Day break up, really, because there's still plenty of legs to Judgment Day. I think. I think this is a faction where we could be talking about in a year's time. They're still together doing the same sort of stuff. Again, just from how bad Judgment Day was under Edge, it just was not happening. That island of omnipotency, blah blah blah, mountain of omnipotency, that's the one. Just no, it was doing nothing for anybody really. Whereas now I'm amazed by the turnaround. I think again, credit to all involved with this. So I think with Dominic, I think he stays on this path for a while, mainly because I think the Judgment Day stay on this path for a while. So yeah, and I'm cool. I'm very much here for it because Dominic Mysterio, man, just from where he was as the smiling babyface, he's about 2 foot taller than his dad, and just kind of looked out of place in his gear and how his mannerisms and smiling all the time. To him now is just night and days. A massive props to that dude. Just little things like when he got hit with the glam slam on, was it Raw this past week? Yeah. And just when he's up in the air and he's screaming for mommy. It's just little tiny things like that. Massive props to Dominic Mysterio. Gary's got in touch. Hey, Gary. Happy Sunday News legend. I wouldn't go far as legend, but thank you very much. Who would you want to be the next jumper from AEW to WWE, if not MJF? I'd personally love to see Kenny Omega have a run in WWE. My house hippo Oscar thought he'd say hi, by the way. Look at Oscar. Again, the genuine smiles on my face for these pet pictures, so thank you very much. And thank you, Gary. MJF is the obvious one. Kenny Omega, I don't think it's ever going to happen just because of the schedule, really. I mean, obviously, you have certain talents who work lighter schedules than others in WWE, but I mean, Kenny in WWE could be great, probably would be great, especially under Triple H, but it's just his body. Unfortunately, there's lots of issues there, injury issues, which he's come back from. Obviously, there was the big spell out where his body was so worn down that he had however long off. I don't know with Kenny. Because WWE, it's like, I mean, you have TV matches every week for the most part. Most people do. If you're not Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, most people tend to have TV matches every week. And especially when so much of what you're about is your wrestling, your in-one work. I mean, Kenny as a character is great, but first and foremost, it's Kenny the wrestler that people want to see. So I don't know with Kenny. In terms of who else I could see jumping ship, Ricky Starks. Absolute, he is tailor-made for that company. Ethan Page, and not necessarily the biggest of stars in terms of name value, but Ethan Page is, again, he just the look, the charisma, the size. He's built for WWE television. Jade Cargill is another one who is built for. I mean, yes, people will look at her actual in-ring work, and she is still green in that regard, but just the star factor, the it factor, the charisma. She's absolutely built for WWE. What I'd really like and would never, if it did happen, it would never happen in the fashion I'd want it to happen, would be Eddie Kingston. Just let off the leash to be Eddie Kingston. But that wouldn't happen. We all know that. And in terms of more realistically, who I think will be the next ones to jump, I think, actually, there we go. I think it's these chaps. I think it's FTR. Again, something to keep an eye on. Their contracts are up in April. And I think... I don't know. I just also a little recommendation. If you've not been listening to FTR with Dax Harwood podcast, go and give that a listen. It's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I feel like this has gone on for ages. And again, I apologize about my throat and my voice. It can't be helped. But yes, of course, be sure to come and give us a follow at WhatCultureWWE. On Twitter, if you want, you can follow me at CultureLeftPeg. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn notification bells on. And most importantly, though, as ever on a Sunday, I hope you're having the best possible day. Whether you're doing something, whether you're doing nothing, I hope it goes as well as can be expected. I'm off to drink some coffee, take some more medicine, and I will be back. If not before, I will be back on next Sunday. I believe it's Murray and Wilborn are back tomorrow, but I'll catch you in a week or so.